Hi, what's going on? Welcome. My name is Samuel Price, the Crypto Lifer, and every single Friday afternoon, I give you the macro analysis on the weekly and the bigger time frames to give a picture of what's happening, to let you cool off, to let you zoom out, take a deep breath, and really see what's happening in the markets. We're going to go over Bitcoin, total 3, Bitcoin dominance, U.S. Tether dominance, S&P futures, and Sol versus Ethereum. I think we really want to keep watching that Sol ETH chart. That's going to get more and more interesting. So let's break it down. We're going to start here with the Bitcoin chart. The first thing I do is I double click it. I take away the moving averages for now, but I'm a moving average guy. And I look at what's happening in front of us. And I've been using the 5-day because it has a pretty good resistance. But right here, we can see a resistance at 47,278. We have almost tapped it a few times, but have not touched it yet. We haven't touched that $47,000 level yet. The highest we've gone is about 45,920. Haven't even got into the 46,000. However, beautiful big green candle for Bitcoin. After that nasty red dip, the weekly actually looks pretty good. Let's talk about this. Let's break it down. So the weekly is in a flag. All right. That is an ascending triangle per se. And you could say you have this flag and the length. I take the whole length of this pole. That tells me we're likely getting to 64,500. Very close to a new all-time high. Could the ETF propel us to a new all-time high in the first few weeks of into the first few weeks of January? It looks like it may. Show me the charts and I'll show you the news. I don't want to get everyone too hyped and become a huge, perma bull here and get everyone crazy and become, a bull boy or whatever. But, I just want to let you know these are the facts. Like, this is what I'm seeing in the charts. Slap on the moving averages on the 5-day chart. And we talked about when we front run the idea that the 21 was crossing the 200. Now we're getting the front run here. If you start to get in now, you're front running a golden cross on the 5-day chart. It's a really good sign that we're going to get a pretty big move. The last time we had anything like this, the 21 crossing, it began a big pump. We never went that low. The last time we get this close together and we started, it was the beginning of a massive move. Moving averages got right nice and tight here. The 200 coming down, these moving up. We're getting just, really good moving average interaction. And this is what I look for. I look for this. When they start to get wide, I know price action is going to falter. When they start to get close together and tight, I know we're beginning up to build a bigger move. Right now, even on the 4-hour and the 1-hour, you can see really tight moving averages. It's telling me that on the local time frames, something is brewing. We're getting a possible move to the upside. All right. And so I like, this is just a really good sign. And that 21 crossing the 200, great sign. What I do see here, look, this is a resistance here that we're tapping into. Right at 45,888, 45,009. We've tapped on it. We need to flip that area to remain bullish, and then we'd easily move up to 52,000. You can see there's just a gap here. And then there's really no resistance all the way back up to 59, and then just really not a lot of resistance all the way to the all-time high, to be honest. So that's a really good sign for Bitcoin. Now we slap on and start looking at my indicators. Lack of momentum on the MACD. I look for that. A very small MACD hill. That's interesting. We did see some bearish divergence here a little bit as this swings down while that swings up, kind of heated, but we could ride the RSI a little longer. Something I do, I'm a little nervous about there, that bearish div. We have to concern ourselves with it, and we have to, know it exists. But the fact that the stochastics went from top all the way to bottom while we went sideways on a massive time frame is a very bullish sign. You expect even on something super bullish, something that everybody loves, will come up on the 3-day. It'll usually come down in a vertical line back to the 21, and then it will try to get its move back to the upside. So very interesting sign of events here that I'm looking at on the 3-day chart. It really is building up some bullishness. The daily looked nice. It was consolidating, and then we kind of got this little move, but that's okay. It could come up or down. Today we got a nasty dip that got bought back up. We're going to see how this daily candle closes. It's going to close in about 1 hour and 51 minutes at, 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is that time, 8 p.m. in Greenwich, England, which is the center of the earth, right? So honestly, in a way, we could almost do it like this and say, hey, are we staying outside of the pattern? I like to keep it kind of flat and show it that we're in an ascending triangle like so. And I do have to zoom in, even though this is macro, I do have to zoom in to kind of give you my sense of what's going on, right? So then I'm looking at this idea. We broke above the 200 SMA on the 4-hour. As long as we stay above that, we are very, very bullish. We also got above it on the 1-hour time frame, and you can see we're kind of breaking out of what looks like a cup and handle and, a shoulder, shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. A bit of an inverted head and shoulder cup and handle making its move. I even like to use the wicks, but I could see this breaking up to resistance and even further up to 47,000. And this could even happen tonight. It's looking interesting to me. So we could double top. We do have a resistance like right there. We got to break back above 44,500. Really, where is 44,000? I'll even call it 7. You get above 44,007, then we have to test where this double topped area there. But I like what I'm seeing. Beautiful consolidation is in both things. We get above here, bullishness for me. We go sideways, I'm bullish. What's bearish is if we lose the 1 hour 200 SMA and we close a few candles below it, look for us to break down and then look for us to head to, the 8 hour 200 SMA because we'll lose the 4 hour and we'll head down to the 8 hour. And this is kind of a Bart Simpson pattern. This could happen. I'm open-minded to it. There is a gap in the VRVP. There is some support down at 38,000. If there's some type of rejection or, maybe we get some false news, you never know. So there is an idea, and I'm open-minded to the bearishness, and I'll be ready for it by watching where we are with the moving averages. And I only sleep 5 hours, so usually I'll be able to catch it. So that's your Bitcoin macro update. Very, very bullish. It's likely we do go further up, and, there's high likelihood of us going all the way to that bigger target at 64,000. We'll get to 52 first, and we'll take it from there, but, that ETF gets approved. We get that news. It could be tomorrow. It could be the weekend. It could be Monday. You never know how this works. And even the smaller time frames look like there could be a nice trade brewing here for BTC. So that's where I am for Bitcoin. I'm loving it. The key area to break above is 45,000. Let's call it like 9. And once we get above there, we are gone. Total market cap for all of cryptocurrency. Same idea. We've had it in a wedge here, but the wedge is more moving to the upside, right? So the last time we were together, we drew this, we talked about it, 5-day, 3-day, same kind of scenario here. So let's take a look at what I was looking at. Same scenario, we were in the rising wedge, we had broken out, came back inside, but we hugged the channel, and I just want to see us consolidate sideways here to the upside. Chance that we do one of these, and this is cool too, when we make a more lateral, nicer looking ascending triangle to the upside, but, for now, we have this beautiful flag. We continue to the upside. My target would take us to $1.98 trillion. I can't believe I get to say that. I remember when these coins were only in the 100 billions, and now we're into the $1 trillion market cap. Very bullish for me. The daily has reset nicely and got some oversold. The 3-day chart has come all the way back down, and you got the 21 moving with price. You also had a golden cross here. Very good sign. Another cool thing, when Bitcoin got this far away from the 200, remember, a huge move came on the 5-day. The total market cap hasn't gotten the move that Bitcoin has. Bitcoin has gotten the cross on the 5-day chart of the 200 SMA, right? The 21 has crossed the 200 SMA. We're now getting that on the total market cap. It's a really, really big sign when this crosses. So you can see Bitcoin's kind of paving the way for what's going to happen already. It already showed us what's going to happen to total. So it's honestly predetermined that we're going to get a pretty big pump to the upside. But, only time will tell. And we are getting some high stochastics. I get it. And but there's something brewing here for the total market cap as well. Total 3 is all of the altcoins. Remember, we've talked about this before a few times, and we could start fresh. The last time we looked at it, I just wanted to kind of start fresh from where we were last week. I looked at this possible flag breaking back to the upside, getting a move out. Right, today is the 5th, so the last time we went over this must have been somewhere here when we were looking at this flag, and I drew this flag. We have since broken out, and that's what I've devised. Let's take a look at it on the, on macro here. We'll get rid of the moving averages for a split second and just take a look here at the total 3. So came back to where it was previously had resistance and bounce. So that's a really strong support zone that we've made. Lovely. We made the double bottom. We talked about it. It kind of was an Adam and Eve. This was an Adam and Eve that broke to the upside, right? We got both of those channeled in. We nailed it. Excuse me. This moved, that was the double bottom. That was our measured move. It took us there. Now, what's interesting is we really don't have resistance till we get to 641. And honestly, the altcoins could cruise all the way till this high volume node, all the way at 800. Like, really, there's nothing really till we get to 832, 807. You see, because this is how the VRVP works. I mean, you lose this node, you come all the way down to here, and then, there's really nothing till you get to there. It's not a lot of resistance. A little bit of chop where we're in right now, but that's it. Like, once you get through that, there's just not a lot of macro resistance here for the altcoins. A little bit right there at 514, like a tiny, tiny bit. So that gets me excited. It tells me that we could, we're probably never going to go below 439, even if we get some dips. So it's good for accumulation. What I don't like is just, this sharp swing up while this swung down. That is bearish divergence on the 3-day chart. And you're getting some mixed signals. Now I slap on the moving averages and take a look. I mean, you definitely want to come back to the 21-day moving average. And so we're kind of watching the altcoins. So it's almost saying, hey, Bitcoin's going to do the BlackRock thing. It's going to be the Bitcoin show for a week. It's going to be out of control. And then altcoins will have their time. But it looks like it's going to take 12 or 15 days for the altcoins to, 5 3-day candles really for this to play out. I don't know if we're just going to manually we could shoot off. Anything could happen. But it's looking more like we're going to need some consolidation for these altcoins. So I have both of these drawn. As long as we bounce in the on this 22 of the daily, we're going to take the top channel more than the bottom falling wedge, right? And that's what we're looking for. Curving in the 21 above, anything could happen, and I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a pullback and went to test some of these levels. So I believe it's the Bitcoin show for the next week. Good time to accumulate alts. Total 3 doesn't look amazing. Looks like we're getting some type of pullback or some sideways action for the altcoins. They've been on a massive run for a while. They haven't had a bigger, more lateral or sideways, at least breather. It would be a good thing for that, so they could kind of gear up for another massive move, especially once Bitcoin takes all that money out of the regular market and then redistributes it into the altcoins. That's something I would be paying attention to. All right. Bitcoin dominance inside the rising wedge. Rising wedges break down 68% of the time, but when something's out of control and parabolic, you grab the base of the whole base here. Sorry. And you swing this up, and that's where you're likely going to go. That brings you all the way to about 6.6755 into this resistance area. And then you even have this resistance like right here. Beautiful move for Bitcoin to the upside, right? I mean, and that would really propel Bitcoin dominance to get a massive move. You're oversold on the weekly. It's a pretty good sign. You are going to get that lift off. Wow, look at the aggressive move on the 4-day and the 3-day. This looks interesting to me. This is a bit of a flag. Bitcoin dominance. Somewhat of a cup with a handle there. You see that? Sammy cup and handy. Bitcoin dominance looks like it could break up and get all the way 61%. We get an ETF. There's going to be some fireworks. And what if we could bring them all the way back up to 66? So watch your altcoins. This looks insane. We could get a massive rally here for Bitcoin dominance. We're going to take a look at the 3-day for Tether dominance. And if that's high, oh my God. So right now we have Bitcoin dominance low on the 3-day looking super aggressive in a flag. We have Tether dominance overbought on the 3-day in a bear flag in a downtrend, right? That tells you that people are continuing to dump Tether for Bitcoin, right? It's only, that's what they're doing. They just continue to dump Tether for Bitcoin. And it looks like that's what they're continuing to do right now. So this is what I see happening. This is likely what's going to happen. And it's setting up on the 3-day pretty nicely. We do have the Stokes turning on the MACD. There is a chance. It's not all bad and gloom for the Tether dominance. But the key is if we never get back above 6.24, that's going to be like your line in the sand. And it doesn't look like we're going to, So this is setting up for the next 5 to 6 days because that's how long it takes for the 3-day chart to really play out for a pretty nasty dump in Tether dominance. ES1, I'm just going to touch on it really quickly. I've been bullish since I called this bullish div for you guys. I even had this as a cup with a handle. I think I still have my old work hidden that I'll open for you guys. This was the cup and handle. I even gave you the trade. The trade is still in the money. Can be brought to break even at this point. I gave the stop loss and everything, which is insane. I was just a cup and handle, trading the 618 Fibonacci level. That's all it was. What I do, the same stuff over and over again. I'll take this off because it's just too much at that point. We broke out, though. We got above this key level of resistance, and now we're flagging out. They're going to print money. The politicians have, promised too much. They're in shambles. Democrats, it's a mess. Everyone can see it. Even Republicans will print money too. Both sides are, everyone mainly, you have some conservatives and libertarians, but for the most part, they're going to continue to print this money to zero. And while they do that, they're going to prop up these markets. The S&P will continue to pump. The only thing with real money, like Bitcoin, will eventually turn it into real money and people will hoard it. And then that scarcity will hide the value that was taken from the dollar and keep it in Bitcoin. You can see what's going to happen anyway. So I'm watching the dollar here. I'm watching the dollar, basically collapse, and I'm watching S&P futures and anything that's priced in the dollar continue to go up in value. So look for this to kind of meander here and go sideways, but this flag's breaking out. I see the S&P up somewhere at 5,077 by February, right? And so I'll keep you on task with this, and we'll go over it each time. Might as well look at the NQ as well while I'm here with you, right? E-mini futures, but it really just follows the NASDAQ, right? NQ, same thing. It was the cup and handle. It broke out. It's in the same little flag, a little sharper of a flag, but same idea. Look for this flag to play out or make some type of sideways channel like this and continue to the upside. I see this moving, and by next year, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at $20,000, even by August of 2024. So I see a bigger move. The money printer go brrr, the cup and handle print to the upside. We got above this point of control. We're flagging out above the resistance, just like the S&P. Exactly same story, morning glory. And I also called this, it was the same call. They moved together, they're identical in a way. So S&P, NQ, you name it, we got it. We nailed it. I called this call here on both, and I called this call here. Even hidden bullish divergence on the 3-day chart, right? That no one else called out, but I saw purposely, really nicely, and I put it on my channel. This was swinging down, that was swinging up. It says you're going to break the high inside the divergence, right? That swings up, that swings down. You're going to break this high. What happened? 90% accurate indicator. Hidden bullish divergence played out. I can teach you how to do this on a macro scale on multiple indicators throughout any asset in the world, from gold to silver to Forex to Bitcoin, you name it. Jump on into the trading group today. It'll blow your mind. We take a look at the S&P futures and see what's happening in NQ. We do so much on the channel. Here, we're going to just take a look at Solana for you. Everyone's what's happening to Solana. Is it collapsing? Where's it going? You want to look at Solana on the weekly chart, really take it in. It got pretty far away from its 21-day moving average. That will have to come back. It's not going to be able to stay away from that forever. 4-day, all these other. So I see a pullback coming for Solana. It got a massive run up. People sold them into altcoins, and now they want some of the other altcoins. Now they're done. Now they're hungry. Now people are taking their soul and looking for other coins. So Solana starts to. So this is what happens. The market gets crazy. Solana starts to build. It becomes hot. Well, everyone knows, oh, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot, that's hot. Then they get the meme coins, and the meme coins create that other rally. But then what happens is people want to now get into meme coins more than Solana. So even people that love Solana are buying memes, and then back and forth. And so now when there's buying of Solana, there's also selling of Solana, and you're getting the stabilization, right? This should likely head a little bit lower. We look at the 3-day chart away from the 21. You're looking for this to stabilize. Very overbought in the MACD. You got some bearish divergence here that's very, very sharp on the 3-day chart. I'd be highly surprised if Solana doesn't come back down to 67. You know what I mean? And everyone thinks nothing goes down, everything goes up forever. Now, there's a chance it's so hot, it goes lateral and it goes sideways. Either then, we're going to have a chance, I believe, to pick at it. We won't have to, run into it, Even if Bitcoin goes on that rally, does everything follow? I don't think so. I think it's the Bitcoin show, and then the money starts to trickle in. I wouldn't be surprised if Solana at least came back down to 92, 93, 89 a couple more times before we get a big move further to the upside for the target of 184. You also want to be looking at Solana Ethereum. It's about to hit its all-time high on the Binance chart way back in 21 of October. So that's a big deal, and it doesn't look like it's going to really falter. Ethereum and Solana will probably move together, and then when there's big jolts in the market, Solana's just going to play off against it. So if you really like Ethereum and you hold a bunch, probably a good idea to put all of it into Solana and then sell it at the end back into Ethereum. You're just going to make way more Ethereum. It just looks like it's obviously going to happen. This flag looks likely to break out over time, may a little more pullback, and we do have support here. But the Solana Ethereum chart is just on a tear and looks like it's going to continue at least to that target at 06971. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. I got excited doing this. I hope you did too while you were watching it. I have fun giving you this information every single week. I hope you have fun eating it up. I can't wait to bring you your next macro video next Friday. Watch the live stream every single day. It's blowing up, up to, 1,500 people on the live, 8,000 views. It's getting out of control. Super chats, everybody. The energy is at its apogee, actually and factually, increasingly daily, rapidly. I'm excited. You should be too. And I can't wait to see you on my next video. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Crypto is life.